Our thing is, could we go back to this style of summer blockbusters but do it in this new form?
The Duffer Brothers definitely have great taste in movies. It's clear in Stranger Things Season 4 just how much it's influenced their writing. From classic horrors like Alien all the way to 90s romantic comedies like You've Got Mail, we're definitely in for a ride on the nostalgia train.
Now, it's very hard to get something like that made.
Number 1. And what a nightmare. Considering the actor who plays Freddy Krueger has a cameo in Stranger Things as Victor Creel, it goes without saying that the Duffer Brothers are big Nightmare on Elm Street fans.
I wore my Dream Warrior shirt to set and just talked to him a little bit about Freddy Krueger, and he likes talking about.
The Duffer Brothers have referenced this iconic horror series throughout every season of Stranger Things, but they really hit home with Vecna terrorizing everyone while they're in a dreamlike state. They've stated that Vecna's mind lair is supposed to be like Freddy Krueger's boiler room. Even Vecna's insane hand is a direct nod to Freddy Krueger's iconic glove.
Nightmare on Elm Street was a huge film for us growing up. It really scared us, but we couldn't help but keep watching it.
What other Nightmare on Elm Street references have you noticed throughout the series? Number 2. We're getting a bit supernatural here. Whether the Duffer Brothers meant to do it or not, they definitely gave us a cool throwback to the 1997 classic Alien: Resurrection.
We're huge fans of the Alien franchise.
In the Stranger Things Season 4 Volume 2 episode, Joyce, Hopper, and Marie are trying to escape the Russian prison, and they stumble across all these tubes with demogorgons inside. Just a casual Stranger Things moment. That scene directly mirrors a major scene in Alien when Ripley finds the clone lab. How can you not give a respectful nod to this movie when the incredible Winona Ryder also starred in it? Number 3. We have to talk about Max's memory of the snowball dance. Not only does Sadie Sink give a nod to Stephen King's horror classic Carrie in Fear Street 1978, but she also gets another moment to mirror the film when hiding from Vecna. If you look closely, you'll notice that the decor of the snowball dance is heavily reminiscent to Carrie's tragic prom sequence. Did you pick up on the exploding balloons filled with blood? Don't even get us started on the scene when Eleven is getting bullied at the roller rink. Thankfully, she only got a chocolate milkshake thrown on her instead of an entire bucket of pig's blood. Otherwise, who knows how that could have ended.
You have a high school girl who has these amazing powers and these amazing abilities, and we always looked at how King dealt with that when we talked about 11.
Number 4. So, what's your favorite scary movie? The scene where the police are investigating Chrissy's murder is an on-the-nose mirror to the 1996 classic Scream. Not only in the way the camera follows Chrissy's body, but also in the show's musical score. If you go back and watch the movie, it's pretty hard not to notice.
35, back up 4 minutes 17, situation under control.
Hey! You can't be out here, get back inside.
Scream marathon, anyone? Number 5. Oh, so many Halloween references in Stranger Things. Let's break it down. When Max first enters Vecna's mind lair, we do, for a brief moment, see a tombstone that says Myers on it. Fitting and very creepy. Not only that, but when Vecna gets shot out of the Creel House by Nancy's Sigourney Weaver-esque shotgun moment, it is a direct correlation to when Michael Myers dies in the 1978 film. In both cases, neither of the bodies were on the lawn afterward. Number 6. Let's talk more about George Lucas movies, particularly all the Star Wars references that we noticed. In an interview with Collider, Brett Gelman can't help but mention Star Wars when talking about his scenes in Russia. That Luke-Leia hand dynamic really is an energy that's constantly flowing through my scenes with Winona and David and Nico. The Duffer Brothers did say the darker themes of The Empire Strikes Back helped shape the tone of Season 4.
It was a big film for us growing up.
They even quote the movie directly. When the Hellfire Club is playing Dungeons & Dragons, Dustin's line when rolling dice to eliminate Vecna is,
"Never tell me the odds."
Han Solo, anyone?
Never tell me the odds.
Number 7. Who doesn't love a high school classic? Judging by Robin's new crush, Vicky, returning the VHS paused at 53 minutes and 9 seconds, this could go without saying. In an interview with Polygon, Charlie Heaton said the Duffer Brothers told them their character arcs were influenced by the Fast Times characters. We didn't sit down and be like, yo, let's watch this and try and copy this, but I think culturally you were aware of those movies. Apparently, when it came to the comedy dynamic between Charlie and his co-star Eduardo Franco, they, in true stoner fashion, tried to go with whatever they found funny that day.
Got me stressed out, it's not even my girlfriend.
Number 8. Sometimes they got specific. The Duffer Brothers didn't show a lot of specific movies or scenes to the cast in order to prep them for season 4, but in this instance, they did want Finn Wolfhard to know about this film in particular. In an interview with Polygon, Finn goes into detail about the inspiration behind one of his major scenes. There's a scene in the car where we're all together and it's very tense, and the Duffer Brothers really wanted me to watch this movie by Iñárritu. There's a scene that's very similar to the Harmon scene in the back of the truck. It's really chaotic and there's blood, and apparently they drew a lot of inspiration from the movie. Number 9. Hopper definitely gives Indiana Jones vibes.
Obviously, Indiana Jones himself, is a big reference for Hopper. We talk to David about Harrison Ford probably more than anything else.
In an interview with Collider, Brett Gelman references Indiana Jones when discussing the plot where Joyce and Murray try and rescue Hopper from the USSR. I always feel that there is this energy that is very Indiana Jones in the way that it's constantly balancing the tension of the adventure with humor. Fun fact though, in Season 2, Episode 9, they definitely did mean to reference Indiana Jones when Max is driving Billy's car and needs a block to reach the pedal, just like Short Round does in Temple of Doom. Apparently, their production designer insisted Sadie Sink didn't need the block, that she could reach the pedal on her own.
We were so devastated because we wanted to give that little nod, but then we put Sadie in the car and she could not reach the pedal.
Number 10. There are at least 2 references to this 1983 film that we know of. Early in Season 4, Susie hacks into the school system to change Dustin's D- in Latin. In War Crimes, Matthew Broderick's character did the exact same thing. The second reference to the film is when Mike and Will try to call the Nina Project from a payphone, but all they get are weird sounds on the other end.
Listen to this. Does that remind you of anything?
War games.
Number 11. We've got the jocks, the freaks, the nerds, the popular kids, and the criminals. We truly can't get enough of Eddie Munsen, especially when he's giving us brilliant Breakfast Club references. When he's breaking down all the school's social cliques on top of a cafeteria table, it's hard not to think about the Breakfast Club.
As long as you're into band, or science, or parties.
Number 12. Did you catch that sneaky graffiti? We are talking about this E.T. phone home moment. The Duffer Brothers really wanted the 1982 film to have an influence on the new California setting of their 4th season.
E.T. was a big film for us growing up, as it was for a lot of kids. It was mildly traumatizing.
In an interview with Collider, they opened up a little bit about their influence behind that. In California, it's a very different vibe in a lot of ways, because the goal for California is to have that E.T. Valley feel of it. Number 13. Yes, it's a film, but that film was based on true events. When talking about the Creel House, we have to mention the clear inspiration that was taken from the Amityville Horror. For those who haven't read the book or seen the film, it's about a family that moves into a new home looking for a fresh start, similar to that of the Creels. Unfortunately, the house had a dark past and an even darker present to match. Just like the Creels, they start getting haunted by strange paranormal activity that also includes changes to their children's mood and behavior. We're sure you can guess how it ends. It's clear the Duffer Brothers pulled from this terrifying classic when envisioning the Creel storyline. Number 14. Oh, the 80s. Sticking to the elements of the truth, the Duffer Brothers have stated that they really wanted to utilize the frenzy of the Satanic Panic in Stranger Things Season 4. Back in the 80s, America was essentially terrified of the effect that the occult was having on children, specifically Dungeons and Dragons. Yes, Dungeons and Dragons! In a 1988 documentary titled Devil Worship, bands and artists like Ozzy Osbourne and Iron Maiden were directly blamed for influencing teens with Satanism. Though in Hawkins there are actual monsters, it's definitely not because of Eddie Munsen's Hellfire Club or his love for Iron Maiden. Number 15. And then there's the romance. Back when the scripts for Season 4 were still under wraps, the writers of Stranger Things posted a series of tweets where they shared which movies they were discussing for inspiration. Apparently, a major film behind the love story of Hopper and Joyce was You've Got Mail. Can we also give a shout out to Joyce for saving Hopper from that terrifying Demodog? We couldn't handle another heartbreaking Bob moment.
Damn it.
We've got Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream, Carrie, and Star Wars, among other incredible classics. Are you gonna do an 80s movie marathon this week? Let us know in the comments which ones you're gonna watch first.